Okay, so I got my kukri back from Peter's heat treatment, and I asked for 60 Rockwell hardness, and they were actually able to do it. This is 80 CRV2, and it took them 4 tests. So very nice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prep this for scales. I'm just going to sand all this, just hand sand it from here back. I'm going to leave this blue. I'm going to see what happens. From what I remember, this comes off pretty easily, but I want to see what happens just in use. I can always just sand this part as long as it's not like super close to the handle. I can always sand it and it won't be a problem. So I'm going to do that. I decided to go with double red canvas micarta for the scales, and I'm going to use so this is a maroon G10 because it looks very similar, especially like this, I guess. The only thing I might have a problem with that I saw right now is, so this is, I measured it. The diameter is 0.125, so it's 1/8, and the holes are 0.125, and it doesn't go in all that easily, but that's fine, whatever. What I'm gonna do is, I went through each hole with a drill too, just to make sure, 1/8 inch drill. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these into pieces to size, and then I'm gonna grind the tips, make them look like pencils, and I'll just use the pencil side to drive in the pin, just to make sure it goes in. Alrighty, I'll prepare that, cut the pieces, and then sand everything. I'll show you right before I glue it, and I'll show you after I glue it. Okay, all right, so here it is all epoxy together. So now I'm just gonna shape it. I'm gonna keep it thick pretty much at the center. Just from my experience, when you chop stuff, you want it to be just as round as possible. But to carry something that's super wide sucks too. So we'll see where I end up. I'm gonna grind and then feel it, and grind, feel it, see where it goes. I'll show you when it's like roughly the shape I want it to be. Okay. All right, so here it is, roughly done. Way different than what I had drawn, but whatever. I like this better. I'm gonna try to keep these lines clean if I can. I did round it out in the end. This has to be buzzed a little bit, apparently. Okay. Yeah, so once you see it next, it's gonna be smoothed out. So yeah, feels nice. Yep. These are the two positions. Here's where the line is. This and this. All right. So I finished my handle, and let me show you before I go on. Bit of bad news. I didn't want to tell you until now, but see, I did a little flat area there. Couldn't think of anything else. I didn't want to just for it to just like go into a narrow end here, and I didn't want to round it out either. So just Coke bottle shape. Yeah. So the bad news is, and you kind of, I guess you could have guessed it, so in the beginning of the video, these G10 pins didn't quite fit into the 1/8 holes, even though they're 1/8 G10 pins. And what happened was, these two, or these three, or no, wait, it's this one. 1, 2, 3 went in completely through the handle. These 3 went, and I measured these, that's why I know, went into about here and then just shattered. So I had about this much left of G10, and I could have either popped them out and then basically waited for, like, ordered a G10 again, and then waited about a week and then put them in. Or what I did was I just put the remaining G10 on the other side and filled up the holes with it. So I don't know if that's, I don't really care. It's not gonna, nothing's gonna happen to it. I'm not selling this. This is for me, and if I do sell it, I'll let whoever is buying it or possibly buying it know that I did that. But I'm gonna do some hard use on this thing, and if it does pop off, I'll glue it back on. If the handle has some kind of catastrophic failure, I'll redo it. So I just want to use this thing. I don't want to wait another week. So that was the thinking behind it. But yeah, so other than that, I did decide to keep the finish I got back from heat treatment, and just to test it. This is temporary. So I'm not going to keep this. This is not food safe, I think. So I just want to see what happens. This is most likely going to come off super easy, but I'm curious. And then after I do test it, I'm going to just sand it off and then go with the original idea, which was I'm going to keep this clean like it is now, and I'm going to let this side patina. So it's going to look similar to this, but not exactly in the future, like years from now if I keep using it. But today, what I'm going to do today is I am going to put an edge on this thing, because right now it doesn't have anything. And that's going to take me maybe a couple hours. And I'm going to do it by hand on diamond stones, because I don't want to introduce any heat to this thing, and I just prefer to do it that way. So I'm going to do that, and I'll show you later on how it turns out. Okay. All right, so I finished sharpening it, and I messed up on this side. You see the little lines there? If this didn't have a finish, I would just sand this, which I'm going to do later on anyways. That'll be gone. But here, let me show you the sharpness. I can never get 80 CRV2. This is kind of a fat blade too, so I can get this. I can never get 80 CRV2. See how it's like toothy? I don't know why I stopped there. All right, I can never get it to be super smooth. It's always like crazy toothy for some reason the way I do it. And I mean, that's the same way. That's the same way I do other blades, and they're fine. So yeah, see the tip. And then just to show you on my hair, so I can actually not touch my skin, and just, you hear it grabbing on. See? So the hair's still there because I didn't touch my skin, but it's shaving like just when I touch the hair. So it is sharp, but 80 CRV2 is always like crazy toothy for some reason. Okay. So yeah, basically done. Any questions, suggestions, let me know. All right.